I would like to call to order the September 16th, 2025 meeting of the Colerain Township Zoning Commission. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to those in attendance, to Township staff, as well as my fellow commissioners. Just a friendly reminder for everyone who is present tonight to please silence your devices at this time. Ms. Klein, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bachman.
Here.
Mr. Hauser.
Here.
Mr. Westfall.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Ms. McMullen.
Here. Thank you. Okay, commissioners, presented before you tonight are the minutes from our August 19th, 2025 meeting. Do we have any comments or required edits of the minutes? And Ms. Klein, I just have two for you. The bottom of page 6 for motion A, if you can include that I was the one that made the motion, please. And then page 7 for motion B, that motion was made by Mr. Wilson. Thank you. Are there any others? Okay, can we have a motion and a second for approval, please?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Klein, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bachman.
Yes.
Mr. Hauser.
Yes.
Mr. Westfall.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. McMullen.
Yes. Okay, so next we would like to welcome the public to address the Zoning Commission. However, if you are planning on speaking during one of the public hearings, we will invite you to the podium during the respective hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Okay, seeing none. Next is presentations, and Ms. Klein, you are up with a summary of the public engagement meeting from August 28th, I believe. Did I skip something?
No, you did not.
Oh,
But
okay. Oh,
I
are
just
you
don't-
doing it?
Yeah, I am doing it. I just didn't want to look like no, I'm doing it. So we
I
planned this ahead of time. I'm not gonna
Okay.
say- Maggie had the opportunity.
Okay, thank you.
So this is for our agriculture and animal
I
use.
just want to go on record and say it does say presented by Ms. Klein.
It does, yeah. So,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
This is for our agriculture and animal use recent public meeting that we had. And if you turn your attention to the screen or your packet, it's the same information. So in June of this year, planning and zoning staff wrote an amendment for agriculture and agricultural uses. And this was a text amendment to the zoning resolution to clarify some confusing language. There were really no substantial changes, but it was noticed at that time that it might have been too restrictive. So the zoning commission asked staff to conduct a public meeting, and we did so. Our overall findings, after receiving resident feedback from both a survey and a community meeting, staff concluded that most respondents also felt the regulations for agriculture and animal uses in the zoning resolution right now and in the proposed text were also too restrictive. A lot of respondents felt that the setback requirements and lot size requirements should be reduced to allow more residents to participate in small-scale agriculture. Most residents felt that keeping chicken on residential lots less than an acre is appropriate if other protections are put in place. So the specific responses to the questions we have, I won't read all of them, but just overall, it was that theme that we don't need to be quite so restrictive. So number one, do you currently engage in agricultural activities? Most respondents did not, but a good portion did, 3 out of 10. Do you feel the proposed text amendment adequately addresses agricultural uses in Colerain Township? And half of the respondents felt that it really didn't. So why or why not? They specified and were divided. Many supported allowing small-scale agricultural, especially chickens, beekeeping on smaller lots. And the reasons for that were often citing food and sustainability benefits. The most common concern, though, was that the proposed 1 acre minimum and 100-foot setbacks are too restrictive, and virtually no properties in the entire township can meet those. So do you feel the regulations are too restrictive? 70% said yes. So we also asked which regulations specifically, and again, they pointed to that 1 acre minimum and the 100-foot setback. Do you support residents keeping hens, not roosters? And a clear majority, about 70%, supported that. why or why not, they specified that supporting allowing hens, including those under 1 acre, has benefits such as food security, sustainability, pest control, education, and community building. And they felt that hens can be kept responsibly with minimal space, proper care, and responsible guidelines, such as limits on the flock size, setbacks, and cleanliness. There were a few residents that expressed concerns about noise, odor, runoff, and fairness to neighbors, and those are things you commonly hear in all cities and townships about the keeping of chickens. We also heard a lot of information about roosters, and many people felt that roosters were not appropriate for smaller lot sizes. So respondents expressed broad support for allowing chickens on a range of lot sizes. A majority, over half, favored permitting them on lots between quarter and half an acre, and nearly half also supported allowing chickens on lots smaller than 0.25 acres and lots over 1 acre. If residential chickens were allowed on less than half an acre, what type of regulations could we do that would help ensure safety and health? And when that question was considered for lots under 1 acre, respondents prioritized coop cleanliness, almost 8 in 10, limiting the number of chickens, predator-proof enclosures, and proper waste storage. And these are just run-of-the-mill common things regarding the keeping of chickens. So we asked a few more questions, and they went along with that same theme. And other additional comments and suggestions, many respondents supported allowing chickens and beekeeping on residential lots, including smaller parcels, because of those aforementioned food security, grocery cost, sustainability topics that we mentioned. Some noted that well-managed hens without roosters and bees can actually be low impact with reasonable guidelines for like smaller setbacks, flock size, and cleanliness standards. There were a few concerns about the need for enforcement of the existing property issues, while others stressed broader priorities like crime and property maintenance over chickens. So the summary about the meeting that took place, which was to gather feedback from the residents, showed that while no formal decision was made, there was discussion revealed a general openness to allowing limited agricultural activities on residential lots that are smaller than 1 acre, and residents felt that keeping of animals like bees and chickens on those small lots would generally be acceptable. Just an overview of the concerns, as we mentioned, were that the lot size and setbacks not be too low. So regulations like limiting the number of hives and colonies were also considered. So the participants emphasized the importance of aligning local regulations with best practice and state guidelines when it comes to beekeeping, and highlighted the need for clear definitions such as hive, colony, and apiary. And there was a consensus from residents that bees may just not need to be regulated by the township, and that should be left to county, state, and federal regulations if those exist. There was a consensus that roosters should remain prohibited, and that regulations should prioritize health, safety, and compatibility with neighborhood character. The takeaway that we found from this meeting was that the regulations for agriculture and agricultural uses were far too restrictive, particularly concerning lot size and setbacks. The input we collected during this session will inform staff as we refine that text amendment and make recommendations that you'll see in our first text amendment case. And that ends the presentation. Ms. McMullen?
Thank you, Mr. Peters, and not Ms. Klein. Gentlemen, any questions for staff? I know we will be speaking of this a little bit later in our public hearing as well. Okay, hearing none, we will move through the agenda. So we do not have any final development plans for this meeting. So next up, we have our public hearings. First on the agenda is a reopening of a public hearing that was held on the 17th of June. That is zoning case CZC-25-6, a zone text amendment. And Mr. Peters.
All right, so we are resuming this case that we just spoke about on our presentation.
Should we open the public hearing before you give
Mr.
any
Miller?
presentation?
That case, when it was previously addressed
We
a couple months
just
back.
kept it open.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was just tabled, and so
Okay, thank you.
I think there's no need to open it again.
Okay,
Alrighty, so CZC-25-6, agriculture animal uses. The proposed action was to initiate and recommend approval of a text amendment to section 3.4.3, agricultural uses. This would clarify the applicability of agriculture regulations under ORC 519.01 and 519.21. This introduces animal keeping standards based on type and lot size, establishes setbacks, containments, and sanitation requirements, strengthens legal defensibility in alignment with state law, provides clear enforceable standards for zoning administration, and protects public health and neighborhood character while supporting responsible agriculture. So the case summary and history. There's growing inquiries and enforcement challenges in residential and semi-rural areas. The current code is very broad. We have this animal unit per acre standard, which lacks clarity. I always tell my horse joke, if you have 1 acre, you can have half a horse. You get to pick the front or the back. So that was kind of what sparked this a little bit, making it more clear and standardized. No specific standards for containment, sanitation, or land use compatibility were in the previous text. There was a need identified to modernize the standards to clarify applicability under the ORC, add regulations for common animals such as chickens, small and large livestock, and beekeeping, establish lot size minimums, setbacks, and per acre limits, ensure consistent enforceable rules across suburban and rural areas, and address nuisance issues in developing subdivisions. The proposed amendment is tiered framework based on parcel size, animal type, and zoning district, and it preserves the right of an exempt ag operations and existing legal nonconforming uses. The sections to amend are listed on the screen and then in the packet. And a summary of the changes is similar to what I just mentioned, but we clarify the applicability and we added the animal type and quantity standards. We adjusted the minimum lot size and containment, setback, and structure standards. We addressed sanitation and pest control and made an exemption for household pets. We made a requirement for a zoning certificate and addressed legal nonconforming uses. The staff findings are that this supports the comprehensive plan by protecting rural character and guiding suburban growth, tailors standards by zoning district and lot size to reinforce community character, provides clear rules for chicken, livestock, and beekeeping, which addresses the evolving resident interest, strengthens legal defensibility with direct references to the ORC, replaces outdated animal unit rules with a modern tiered framework, improves public health and safety through setback, containment, and sanitation standards, and preserves open space and green space by limiting intensive uses to larger rural lots. Staff recommendation is approval of the proposed text amendment with the following changes. And this is where we had a previous version of the staff report and it has not changed. So our recommendation after the meeting and after hearing from the residents and getting the responses of the survey is to make the changes that are listed on the screen. So you would make a motion to approve if you so choose with the following changes. And we did not feel that we should make a recommendation on 3.4.3 C2-4, a minimum of blank feet from all property lines. We have some guidance and we have some information about what other cities and townships do. Right now it's 100 feet, but I know that some of the board members felt previously that that was too restrictive. But we do recommend to add that no animals for agricultural purposes are kept on a lot smaller than 1 acre except chickens, quails, and bees. And remove or replace 3.4.3 C2I with chickens shall be housed in secure predator-proof structures with an enclosed coop and run. 2 would be a maximum of 6 chickens is allowed on properties smaller than 1 acre, so long as the other requirements of this resolution are met. For each additional acre, up to 6 additional chickens shall be permitted. And then C5I would be remove or replace the beekeeping section and have it say beekeeping is permitted upon all properties so long as it follows all local, county, state, and federal regulations. 2 being remove or replace that with any property upon which licensed beekeeping activities is taking place shall erect signage to alert the public of potential danger, and then remove 3. And the purpose of allowing chickens on a property smaller than 1 acre and not having like a 1/4 acre or 5,000 square foot requirement, or there are some properties that are perfectly square, and if they can meet, let's say you initiate a 50-foot or 25-foot or 20-foot setback from all property lines, we feel that it doesn't really matter what size your property is so long as the chickens are set back a certain amount. It's a little bit redundant to have a size requirement and would shut people out who can meet the setback requirements. So that's kind of where that guidance is coming from. So that is my recommendation. Ms. McMullen.
Thank you. So first, we do have one person that is signed in to speak on this, Steve. Okay.
No, his name's scratched out.
Oh, it is scratched out. You're right. I thought it was underlined like important.
No one signed in to speak on any of the items on the agenda.
Okay, so is there anyone who would like to speak?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to sign in, if I could just.
Yes, please come to the podium. You just have to state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Kerry Zeiger. My address is 8736 Red Hawk Court here in Colerain. I am a beekeeper. I've been beekeeping for since this spring. And I really just wanted to thank you if you adopt these, what it says here about beekeeping permit, as long as you follow the regulations. And the sign is really cool. If you have any questions for me. We covered a lot at that first meeting. It was great.
Yeah, if I could, since he pointed over at me, I don't mean to interrupt your time, Carrie. At our community listening session, he was our lone beekeeping expert, and he provided a world of information for us that certainly informed a lot of our discussion, and we learned much and certainly appreciated his input at that meeting. And so if he is certainly endorsing what's been provided, I think that's worthy of your consideration.
I agree. I know I wasn't present, but I did watch the meeting, and you had valuable feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for him? No.
Can I state something off the record? Carl, I'm
No,
sorry I haven't
no,
called you. I
no.
will soon.
No. Thank you.
Thanks, Carrie.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Okay. Then if we can have a motion and a second to close our public hearing.
I move to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Isn't Ms. Klein?
Yes.
Your mic.
Yes.
Sorry.
Mr. Westfall,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. McMullen.
Yes. Okay, gentlemen. It comes down to this. Is there anyone who would like to make a motion?
I just have a question.
Yes.
The question is, you have some, you've given us a jump ball on that, the minimum of X feet from all property lines, and frankly, I can't read those numbers, so I'm sorry. Way down the
There's no
page.
number there, it's a blank.
That's correct. You've given us a jump ball in the blank. That's what
Yeah.
So my question to that is, what is the minimum frontage of a residential lot in Colerain Township? What would be the smallest lot?
It's hard to say because we have our regulations and we have legally non-conforming lots.
Okay.
So they're
Those
very
are-
narrow
those that
lots.
are conforming.
Maggie's pulling it up. So the minimum lot width in SUR is 60 feet, and then in MUR is 50 feet.
So am I right to say that in those zones, at 50 feet of frontage, you can put a single-family detached home?
Correct.
Okay. And the setbacks on that from the side yards are what? What would that
15
be?
feet total.
7.5 feet on each side.
7.5, 15, so that's 30, so that's a 35-foot wide home max,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Is my math right? So saying that, I'm trying to think, if that's the smallest, what would be the appropriate distance on that property line? Because that would be, I think, our worst-case scenario of impact on the adjacent neighbors. Would you guys agree with that?
I think it's a fair
In
argument.
theory?
Yeah.
So saying that, I would throw out, if you did it 20 feet from either side is 40, that gives you 10 feet? 10-foot coop. Is that?
10 feet from all property lines is what you're saying.
I would say 20. So that gives you a 10-foot envelope in the middle. You're following my logic?
Yeah, I am.
On the worst-case scenario,
On the worst
the
case.
smallest case scenario.
Conforming lots, yes. And
Does that make any sense to you guys?
Yeah. 20-foot was suggested by the participants in the
20 foot was also our personal recommendation if it came to it.
Man,
You arrived there by yourself.
mine's all coming
Maggie.
together.
Right?
Let's go pick a lottery ticket.
You had your hand up. Did you want to say something?
So is that taking into consideration a minimum lot size? Or are we just taking into consideration setbacks?
Well, right now, the jump ball was the lines that need to be filled in were X feet. So I'm trying to get my arms around X, and 20 feet is kind of where we're at. So your question then becomes, is that appropriate in a lot that is, how many square feet? 50 times
7,500,
7,500,
minimum.
which is how much of an acre? 75 divided by 4, 3, 5, 6, 7.
1/6, between 1/5 and 1/6. We did this math earlier.
Between 1/5 and 1/6. Square feet. So that's the question. I don't.
Yeah, I think the question is, do we need to combine setbacks with minimum lot size? And both of those would apply to the keeping of chickens.
We did address this. We said that if you meet the setbacks, you're likely to have a big enough lot.
Okay.
Was kind of what the
So you're-
respondents and
you're
what
just
we
making
came up
the
with.
Assumption that if you meet the setbacks, then you have a large enough.
If you can meet a 20-foot setback on each side and have enough space for a chicken coop, the likelihood that you would be a disturbance or a nuisance to your neighbor is quite low. So if we make a half acre and somebody has a really odd shaped lot and they can meet the setbacks, but they don't happen to have a half acre, we felt like hitting them from both sides might have been overly restrictive. But,
Another
yeah.
thought, oh, I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, some municipalities do setback from residences too, so that would be one, we could do away with the lot size and just say 50 feet from a residence or something.
Yep. You can, or any building. David?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question.
Oh, it wasn't a question, I was just saying that some municipalities do setbacks from residences, you know.
Okay, I did hear you say that. So it would be the setback from your neighbor's house.
Exactly.
Right, so the neighbor might prefer that, right? How far am I from your property line versus my house?
Which doesn't matter your lot shape or, you know,
Yeah,
Like 50 feet from any building.
from any building, it's like any neighboring building, yeah.
Jason building.
and would that include?
A principal dwelling. I don't know that big.
Yeah, I
Residence,
think
yeah.
principal is the key term there, not a garage or a shed.
Maggie, do you have any example?
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
Okay.
I should-
Maggie's looking to see if she has all the local chicken regulations from our neighbors, and she's seeing if there's anything that kind of is similar to that.
I have a couple examples. Columbus has a 5 foot from property lines, 20 foot from residences, and Toledo has 5 foot from property lines, 25 foot from dwellings.
Does that include your dwelling?
I don't know. And then Akron has 100 feet from any dwelling,
Okay.
based on a Google search. You know.
I think for chickens they don't, but I know for bees they do.
Okay.
What was your answer? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. For I know for bees, I saw today that it was, I think, either the city or the county had a distance from beehives to a house, but I'm not seeing chickens, but I think there might be one, but I can't locate it on this graph.
Okay.
I remember Maggie telling me something about that for City of Cincinnati.
Do you gentlemen have any? Go ahead.
I kind of like the idea of the 50 foot or 45, whatever we decide, because thinking through that 20 foot from the property line, really from that neighbor, we're only going to add 7.5 feet potentially, because that's what the side yard setback is. So 7.5 plus the 20 is only 27.5 feet. That potential nuisance may be from the neighbor. So adding a little bit more distance to 50 feet, I think really potentially gives us some buffer, if you will, in terms of that nuisance.
50 feet from,
From the adjacent
Adjacent
neighbor's principal structure. No closer, no
yeah.
closer than 50.
Good.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm good with it too.
So that would replace 3.4.3 C2 4 or IV, however it's said.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
I'd like to propose one additional change if I could.
Yes.
And that's a change to 3.4.3. It's the third one on there. I can't read all those numbers and letters, but for each additional acre, up to 6 additional chickens are permitted. I'm just thinking that a lot of acreage in the township is probably between, an acre and 2 acres. So going from 6 chickens to 12 chickens is a big jump there. So I was just going to suggest for each additional half acre, up to 3 additional chickens shall be permitted, just to do an incremental change.
Still maxing out at 12,
Yeah,
but you can get 3 instead of having to go for the full next acre
Yeah.
to get 6. Sounds reasonable.
So under your suggestion, would there be any setback from the property line at all?
yes.
Under the 50-foot?
I think we said 20 foot from the property line
Okay.
and 50 foot from a principal dwelling.
Got it.
And then did you catch,
I did. So when you get to 1.01 acres, you get 3 additional chickens. And it still says you can't have fractional acres. So I would just need it noted that that would need to be reworded a little bit.
okay, anyone else? All right, is there anyone that would like to work through a motion on that?
It's gonna be rewrote first, right? Or is it gonna be,
It will be wrote as is with the changes that are listed as conditions. So whoever can read the screen, or if someone would like to make a motion, you may need to go up to the screen. And then there was discussion about a minimum of blank feet adding on and certain feet from any principal neighboring structure. And then we would need, you discussed doing 3 chickens per half acre.
All right, so I'll make the motion to approve with the following changes to section 3.4.3 C2, is that a double I?
Oh, no. Hold on.
A-
3.4.3 C1 is the first one.
So we had no changes to that. We had no changes to the second one. So to the third one,
Can I ask a question? So you're saying on C1, no animals for ag purposes shall be kept on lots smaller than 1 acre. Is that what you want?
yes, it says, except for chickens, quails, and bees.
We added that in.
That's right, okay. All right.
So no change on the next one. For the third one, a maximum of 6 chickens is allowed on properties smaller than an acre, so long as the other requirements of this resolution are met. For each additional half acre, up to 3 additional chickens shall be permitted. No change, I'm sorry, there are changes to the next one. The minimum of 20 feet from the property line and 50 feet from the adjacent neighbor's principal dwelling. And then no changes to the remaining. And can we have a second, please?
I'll second it.
So we have a motion and a second. Does everyone understand the vote before we proceed?
And just to be clear, when you say no changes to those specific items, you mean to accept them as they're written on the screen, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, just
Thank
want to be
you.
clear.
Can I clarify as well?
Yes,
You said
please.
50 feet from the neighbor's primary.
The adjacent neighbor's primary dwelling,
It'd be this principal
Oh.
structure.
principal dwelling.
Okay, it would be all adjacent neighbors, right? In the case that you're close to more than one, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
And did you retain the 12 chicken cap?
No, we,
Okay.
we modified that to, for each additional half acre, up to 3 additional chickens.
Okay, so you can, as long as your property continues to get larger, you can still add 3 chickens per half acre. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, one more thing. So there's a thing about how fractional acres are not allowed. Can we add except where expressly permitted in this section? Or, yeah,
To which one?
it's not up there because I didn't expect that. But there is a section in there that specifically says fractional acres are not allowed. So someone can't say I have a sixth of an acre, I want one chicken. So
Okay.
can we say except where otherwise permitted in this section of the resolution?
Yes, I'll modify my motion. Do
Okay.
you want to modify for your second? Are you okay with my
No,
modification?
we'll be okay with it.
Okay, yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so if that's the case, can we have a roll call, please?
I'm sorry, could I ask one just quick clarifying question? So on that, is it a rounding down or rounding up? So you had said 1.01 acre, you can have 3 additional chickens. I was thinking 1.51 acres, you could have 3 additional chickens.
I don't know, if you thought of that.
I thought the language allowed for that.
So it says, we had said,
For every additional half acre, so they have to get to the half acre.
Have
to
a
be
full half
allowed.
acre before, yeah.
for every additional, okay, I like that one.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear. Thank you.
David, it works for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Hauser,
Yes.
Mr. Westfall,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. McMullen.
Yes. Thank you.
We knew that was gonna be like that,
Yep, that'll be the longer one, I think.
yeah.
All right, so next up, we have a public hearing for zoning case CZC-25-9, a zone text amendment.
Okay. So CZC 25-9 is for administrative signage compliance. The proposed action is recommend approval of the amendment to section 4.8.5 signage compliance. This modernizes the township's signage compliance standards, establishes clear procedures for identifying and correcting violations, creates structured enforcement distinguishable with curable or non-curable violations, improves clarity and transparency, strengthens the ability to preserve community character, and provides stronger tools to address nuisance signage. The summary and history: existing rules focus mainly on maintenance but lack clear definitions or remedies. The results: it can cause confusion for property owners and difficulty addressing abandoned signs. On September 10th, 2025, or in August, the Zoning Commission directed staff to revise section 4.8.5. The proposed amendment creates a comprehensive compliance framework by defining compliance issue categories like maintenance, illegal placement, abandonment, and enforcement, and establishes a standard of curable or non-curable. Curable is something that can be fixed. So if somebody has a sign and the face fell off and they can get a new face, that's a violation that can be fixed. If somebody has a legally non-conforming sign that's been abandoned for 2 years and they lost their non-conforming status, that absolutely cannot be fixed. They have to tear the sign down, so that would be curable versus non-curable. Right now, we don't address those, so the non-curable violations get letters in the mail that say things like, you can file master sign plan, and it just is very inconsistent. So it also clarifies abatement, appeal rights, and cost recovery for township removals, and ensures owners know their responsibilities. Staff has a clear process, and township can address nuisance signage effectively. This section to amend is 4.8.5 signage compliance standards. The changes are that it adds purpose and intent statements, safety, character, and fairness, and reorganizes into clear categories, which eliminates overlap and redundancy. We discussed curable and non-curable. It establishes a uniform enforcement track led by the zoning administrator with due process and appeal rights left intact. It standardizes a 90-day correction window with a possible extension for fairness and predictability. It strengthens township authority and allows a trustee abatement, resolutions, and cost recovery as property liens, and clarifies removal standards. All structures have to be eliminated. You cannot repurpose them. We have had issues where people have refused to take their poles down after they took a sign cabinet down and said they were going to make it a lamp. So we are addressing that by saying you can't repurpose pieces left behind of signage into lamps or flagpoles or anything of the sort. The staff findings are that this advances the comprehensive plan, enhances character, reduces clutter, and supports safe corridors, and improves clarity and transparency, which provides clear definitions. It balances fairness and enforcement with the curable and non-curable tracks. It strengthens administrative efficiency with a two-track enforcement, which reduces delays and streamlines cases. It protects community character and safety, which addresses abandoned, illegal, and deteriorating signs. It aligns with peer jurisdictions and reflects the zoning best practices across Ohio communities, and it ensures cost recovery and legal authority, which confirms lien authority and township ownership of removed signage. Staff recommendation is approval of the proposed text amendment. Ms. McMullen.
Thank you. And at this time, we would like to open our public hearing. Can we have a motion and a second, please?
I'll move to open the public hearing.
Second that motion.
And Ms. Klein, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bachman? Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson? Ms. McMullen?
Yes. Okay, and currently no one has signed up to speak during this public hearing. Is there anyone present who wishes to speak? Okay, seeing none, can we get a motion to close the public hearing?
I make a motion that we close the public hearing on case.
Second.
CZC dash
Oh,
25.
thank you. Yep, what you said.
I'll second that.
Second.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. McMullen?
Yes. Okay, is there anyone on the commission who would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the requested text amendment to the zoning resolution, CZC-25-9, as shown in Appendix B.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call?
Mr. Bachman?
Yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall? Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. McMullen?
Yes. All right, that brings us to a public hearing for case CZC-25-10, a zone text amendment. Mr. Peters?
Case CZC-25-10 is for administrative waiver. The proposed action is to amend the administrative waiver section of the zoning resolution adopted October 10th, 2024. It ensures that zoning rules do not hinder development or create undue burdens, maintains the spirit and intent of the zoning resolution, provides a more flexible, balanced tool for minor adjustments, and supports efficient administration and responsible property owner relief. The zoning resolution was originally adopted in November of 1994 and has been overhauled over time, and in 2021 we adopted the comprehensive plan, but we never really had administrative waivers in there. In the 2024 update, we added them, and they're currently used for minor resident request for the goals that are previously stated. Staff review has identified a need to improve the waiver section for clarity and consistency to make it more efficient, practical, and user-friendly, and the amendment ensures that minor adjustments are handled fairly without undermining the zoning intent. This change was done almost exclusively for our residents, not so much for commercial. I suppose there is a scenario where commercial could use these new administrative waiver provisions, but they're mostly done for residents. For example, if somebody has a fence and they would like it more than 50% up their side yard, they'd like to go 60, 65 to line up with a window or a door. Previously, they'd have to pay $500, wait 2 months, and go to BZA. So we wanted the ability to say that's not really necessary here for very minor things. We're still going to do a Duncan factor analysis that we do in BZA and review the case and decide whether or not this is in fact minor and whether it will be detrimental to neighboring properties. So the section to amend is 6.3.6 administrative waiver. This will add specific structured guidelines in place of broad discretion, create a tailored threshold for different dimensional and area requirements, move away from a kind of one-fits-all approach that ends a lot of people in BZA, Board of Zoning Appeals, and tightens eligibility requirements. Applicants must meet all the criteria, removes vague special circumstances clause, and provides greater clarity and flexibility for common scenarios, which reinforces the spirit and intent of the zoning resolution. The staff findings are that this redefines the standards with defined thresholds for the requirements. It helps staff better assist residents seeking minor zoning relief. It relieves the financial burden on residents with small-scale requests, and yes, they have to be small-scale. It enhances internal consistency with the zoning resolution, reduces administrative ambiguity, and strengthens enforcement clarity, streamlines the permitting process for efficiency and fairness, and reinforces the comprehensive plan goals by supporting community character areas. And it also allows us to do what we're all hired to do, which is help our residents. So staff recommendation is to the approval of the proposed text amendment. Ms. McMullen.
Thank you. So at this time, we would like to open our public hearing. Can we have a motion and second, please?
A motion to open a public hearing for case CZC 2510.
And I'll second. Or Mr. Westfall seconded. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bachman?
Yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall? Mr. Wilson? Ms. McMullen?
Yes. And again, no one has signed in stating their wish to speak during the public hearing. Is there anyone present who would like to? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Move to approve.
Second.
And can we have a roll call, please?
Was the first motion Mr. Hauser or Mr. Westfall?
Westfall.
Westfall.
Yes. Mr. Bachman?
Yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall? Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. McMullen?
Yes. Okay, once again, is there anyone who would like to make a motion?
I'd say one question, and the question is more of a process oriented. Could you guys talk about, if you figured out from a staff standpoint, how this occurs? Is this a monthly meeting? Is this as you need it? Is this something that is in front of the public? Is this private? Kind of, could
Yeah.
you talk us through?
So everything we do is subject to public record, and while we don't have a SOP designed and it's not laid out in the resolution, it would be, for instance, if Ms. Klein were reviewing a permit and noticed that, for the example we used earlier, somebody wanted their fence 60% up the side yard instead of 50. Instead of sending them to Board of Zoning Appeals, she would do a review using the Duncan factors and the other 4 criteria listed in Appendix B that we gave you. And she would make a report about it, send that report to the applicant and Mr. Miller for approval. And if Mr. Miller approved, then that means 2 out of the 4 people in our department said that this is not intense, this does not violate the zoning resolution to the extent where it would need Board of Zoning Appeals, and then we issue that approval. There is a cost associated with it. Board of Zoning Appeals is $500, so there was a cost with this too because it does take up staff time. And at that point, Ms. Klein would be able to move forward with the application. Same with me, if I were reviewing a master plan and we were able to, under the criteria, issue an administrative waiver for somebody, I would write up a report, say, do my Duncan factor analysis, send it to Mr. Miller for review, and if he approved, then that's, again, 2 of us said yes. And those reports will be available to the public because they'll be uploaded to the original application.
Did you say there is a cost associated with this?
Yes.
Do you know what that cost is?
All of our administrative costs for zoning verification letter, for master plans, for non-conforming use certificate is $200.
So savings of 300.
Correct. And by the way,
time. And a lot of time.
because if you even if you get approved in BZA, you're 30 days out with, it's not a referendum period, but for all intents and purposes, you're not getting your pool this year. You know what I mean? So.
Yep.
Mr. Peters, you mentioned that this is primarily used for residents and not commercial uses.
Yes.
Is there any rationale to limit it just to that, or?
I don't see it. I think it is a good tool if used for resident or for commercial as well, given that it cannot be anything that's seen as too intense. But if it's something where a church or a type of business, any type of business really wants a 10% administrative waiver, we still don't feel that it's really right or the right move to send them to the Board of Zoning Appeals for something so small. So while we anticipate that 90% of these will be residents, I don't see a reason to block out a useful tool that we would determine each individual application individually. So if you would like to do that, we can. I don't recommend that.
Okay, no, I was just curious. Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah.
And as written, it's not exclusive to residents. Anybody who wants to apply would be able to.
Plus, we are moving toward mixed use, which is a lot of residential mixed with commercial, and I don't even want to open the Pandora's box of what that would do for that.
So you're hoping that this becomes a course of action for someone not to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals due to the savings of cost as well as the time?
That was the initial goal, absolutely.
And where I'm going with this is, do you have a sense of how many BZA cases that you all have in a month?
we have a significantly higher amount than neighboring jurisdictions. Where I live, we have less people. We have 5,000 people, but we've had one case in the last 2 years. I'm the president of the VZA, so.
But what I'm getting at is that I'm trying to put a number to what the savings is
Yeah.
for the township. So do you have some sense of an average month of BZA cases here?
Yeah, I would say it would save maybe one a month. So maybe about $3,000 a year for our residents.
Okay. Thanks.
David, do you agree with that?
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, maybe more. You know, there are people that don't do projects because they know they wouldn't get approved. So if this opens the door on that,
I mean, the benefit too would be their improvement of their property and their building. It would be money spent in the local economy, likely. So I think there's added benefits there as well. If we are able to provide a pathway for them without having to roll the dice at BZA. And we can provide that pathway for them to do their project that they want to do. I think we want to help them move forward on things when it's reasonable.
Yep. Any other questions? Would anyone like to entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve case CZC-25-10, the text amendment to the zoning resolution as shown in the Appendix B.
Second?
All right, and can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bachman?
Yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. McMullen?
Yes. Okay, we are at a public hearing for zoning case CZC-25-11, a zone text amendment for swimming pool setbacks.
correct. Okay, our next case, CZC 25-11, swimming pool setbacks. The proposed action is recommending approval of an amendment to section 3.2.4B. This establishes a uniform 10-foot setback for swimming pools in all yards. It simplifies current regulations for property owners and staff and creates consistency across all zoning district and situations. It also maintains appropriate safety standards for residents and neighbors. So when we updated our zoning resolution somehow, some way, there was a 25-foot rear yard setback that was applied to pools. Instead of a 10-foot uniform setback. When people started getting pools this summer and we noticed this error, we initiated this text amendment, asked you to initiate this text amendment. This would mirror common zoning practice in peer communities and eliminate unnecessary complexity while maintaining safety and separation. There is really no justification that we can find for the 25-foot rear yard pool setback. The section to amend is 3.2.4B, swimming pools. This, as I stated, replaces the 25-foot setback with a 10-foot. And staff findings are this aligns with the comprehensive plan of clear, consistent, and resident-friendly regulations, preserves neighborhood fabric by maintaining a balance between private pools and neighbors, consolidates zoning language, making one uniform rule which replaces multiple confusing standards, streamlines permitting by simplifying design, review, and approval processes, and supports public health and safety by ensuring safe, consistent separation from property lines. And for that reason, staff recommendation is approval of the proposed text amendment. Ms. McMullen?
Thank you. So at this time, we would like to open our public hearing. Can we have a motion and a second, please?
So moved?
Second.
Ms. Klein?
Mr. Bachman?
Yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. McMullen?
Yes. Okay, we had no one sign in to speak during this public hearing. Is there anyone present who wishes to speak? All right, seeing none. Before we close our public hearing, does anyone have any questions for staff? Okay, can we have a motion and a second to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
And Ms. Klein?
Mr. Bachman?
Yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. McMullen?
Yes. Is there anyone who would like to make a motion?
I'll move to approve the requested text amendment to the zoning resolution as shown in Appendix B for CZC-25-11.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bachman.
Yes.
Mr. Hauser.
Yes.
Mr. Westfall.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. McMullen.
Yes. All right, so then, next up, we have a public hearing for case CZC 25-12, a zone text amendment. Go ahead, please.
So this one is for comprehensive use permissions. We have a table in our zoning resolution that shows which uses are permitted and, or prohibited or permitted conditionally in each zoning district. The proposed action is to amend Articles 3 and 7 of the zoning resolution and adopt Appendix B, comprehensive use permissions. This will update and modernize use names across the code and add clarity and definitions for several different uses. This will also make related renumbering and cross-reference corrections. One of the downfalls of our zoning resolution is that when you add a new use, take a new use out, or change a name, you mess up the alphabetical order of all the use-specific substandards, so they all need to be adjusted accordingly, if approved. Articles 3 is use permissions and 7 is definitions, which contains outdated use names, inconsistent permissions across zoning districts, and cross-reference conflicts from previous updates. The issues have reduced the clarity and complicated enforcement of the zoning resolution. So we have this, the zoning commission initiated this text amendment, which will adopt consolidated after use table in Appendix B and add clarified definitions for several uses and renumber the cross-references for clarity and consistency, which will overall improve clarity, streamline administration, and ensure consistent permissions across all districts. That would be, the sections to amend would be the table of contents, Table 3.1.4A, Section 3.4, and Article 7, which is definitions, and would and incorrect cross-referencing throughout the zoning resolution. If something says, if we change the name for something and in a different section says, you know, Section 3.4.2 swimming pools, and we change it to swimming pools and hot tubs, then we're gonna have a problem. So I would just go through and fix all those cross-references as well. So we've already summarized some of the changes, but the agriculture animal uses were fixed and kennels were shifted to conditional, and there was a new pet service and daycare category added. We introduced modern categories like fabricator retail, medical clinic and office, health and fitness venue, and tattoo studio. And we just changed certain other names. Some of our names were very outdated, such as halfway house. So we just updated to be a little bit more modern, and we updated banquet hall to event venue, personal services to personal wellness service. So we just consolidated overlapping uses as well. For instance, massage therapy is more of a medical term and really didn't need its own permissions. So the staff findings are for economic development. This modernizes the use names, accommodates emerging uses, supports small business growth, and reduces vacancies. The coordinated land use and mobility, it directs pedestrian-oriented uses to mixed-use corridors and steers auto-intensive uses to appropriate areas. For clarity and predictability, it replaces scattered provisions with a single consistent table, which reduces disputes and improves transparency. Administrative efficiency, this will shorten review times, reduce resubmittals, minimize variance requests, and improve customer service. And legal defensibility, some of the changes we made to definitions, which were very minor, can strengthen the enforceability with clear definitions and ensure internal consistency across the resolution. So for that reason, staff recommendation is approval of the proposed text amendment. Ms. McMullen?
Thank you. So once again, we would like to open our public hearing. Can we have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second?
And roll call, please.
Mr. Bachman.
Yes.
Mr. Hauser.
Yes.
Mr. Westfall.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. McMullen.
Yes. And before the meeting, no one did sign up to speak during this public hearing. Is there anyone present who would like to speak? Okay, seeing none. And gentlemen, do you have any questions for staff before we close our public hearing? Nope. All right, so we need a motion to close the public hearing, please.
Motion to close public hearing. Second.
Okay, Ms. Klein?
Mr. Bachman.
Yes.
Mr. Hauser.
Yes.
Mr. Westfall.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. McMullen.
Yes. And would anyone like to make a motion? Okay, I will make a motion to approve zoning case CZC-25-12 as presented. Can I have a second,
Second.
please? Thank you. And can we
Just
have a-
clarification for, when you say presented, you mean as shown in Appendix B?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll second then, if that needed a second.
Mr. Bachman.
Yes.
Mr. Hauser.
Yes.
Mr. Westfall.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. McMullen.
Yes. All right, we're getting there. We have one more public hearing for tonight for zoning case CZC-25-13. And
Okay,
Mr.
this
Peters.
one is for short-term rentals.
Yes,
The proposed action, the recommended approval of amendment to section 3.4.36 right now. It removes the short-term rental and bed and breakfast provisions from the zoning code and establishes regulation exclusively under our rental registration program. That program is administered by the Colerain Township Police Department, and they streamline oversight by, we would streamline oversight by consolidating authority into that one program. Right now, the rental registration regulates long-term rentals, so we thought it would be consistent for them to as well regulate short-term rentals, which includes bed and breakfast establishments. So on October 10th, we modified our standards, and this created overlap with the township's rental registration program, and that caused confusion. The bed and breakfast provisions were also added, modified at that time. And in August, the zoning commission directed staff to revise both sections. So the proposed amendment removes short-term rental and bed and breakfast provisions from the zoning code and assigns full oversight to the police department via the rental registration program. This consolidates enforcement, simplifies administration, and ensures consistent compliance. The sections are 3.4.36 and 3.4.9. And the summary is, as I stated, would remove short-term rental and bed and breakfast from our authority with very minimal oversight. There will still be something in the zoning resolution that says these are handled by the police department, but there's really no regulations. Staff findings, this aligns with the comprehensive plan, which avoids duplication, keeps zoning focus on land use. This protects neighborhood fabric. The police department oversight will address absentee landlord and nuisance concerns. It simplifies zoning code. It removes duplicative language and clarifies zoning versus rental oversight roles. It improves transparency. Clearer division of authority builds public trust and enforcement, and it supports public health and safety, which consolidates oversight under the police department, and that's consistent with safety priorities. So for that reason, staff recommends approval of the proposed text amendment. Ms. McMullen?
thank you. So we would like to open our last public hearing of the night. Can we have a motion and a second, please?
Motion to open the public hearing of CZC 25-13.
And I'll second.
Second.
And can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Bachman.
Yes.
Mr. Hauser.
Yes.
Mr. Westfall.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. McMullen.
Yes. Okay, so we did not have anyone sign in before the meeting to speak during this public hearing. Is there anyone present who wishes to speak? Okay, seeing none. And once again, gentlemen, any questions for staff?
I just had one, and I almost hate to bring it up, but I'm going to, because we had a lot of discussion at this commission several years ago about it, and that is the issue of Airbnbs and VRBOs.
Yeah.
Are those defined somehow in this? Although I know it's the police department who regulates, but could you speak to that item?
Yeah, that would be, Airbnbs would count as short-term rentals, VRBOs, and bed and breakfast as well. Everything that we are regulating in zoning is better regulated under police authority, just like any justification we have for long-term rental being under the rental registration program is totally squashed if we leave it in zoning, because it's noise, it's parking on the road. These are things that the police regulate anyway. These aren't things that were typical land use regulations. While a lot of townships and cities do regulate short-term rentals, I don't believe that it's currently best planning practice moving forward for that to be the case. And I think that we are maybe a little bit ahead of the curve on fixing it.
Not sure what all that means, but at the end of the day, let me ask this question. If I have an Airbnb, or if I want to establish an Airbnb, do I need to come to the police department for some kind of approval?
Yes, and you need to pay an annual fee, just like landlords for long-term rentals pay.
Will they send a staff member or a police officer to inspect that
I'm
yearly?
not aware of
Well, they do
Maggie
it,
shaking
they
her
do
head
it for
yes.
rentals, so I assume that if short-term rentals is part of it, it would be part of the same process.
That is correct.
Okay. I'm good.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, can we have a motion to close the public hearing, please?
So moved? Second.
And roll call, please.
Mr. Bachman?
Yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. McMullen?
Yes. All right, and would anyone like to make a motion?
If I may just answer Mr. Bachman's question as well, there is in our definitions a lengthy definition for transient vacation rentals and short-term rentals. So if someone's trying to decide whether they are an STR or a VRBO or an Airbnb, it does define that. So they would then be directed to the police department for registration. So we have covered it from both directions.
All right, would anyone like to make a motion? I will make a motion for approval of zoning case CZC-25-13, Appendix B as proposed.
A second?
Motion and a second. Can we have a roll call?
Mr. Bachman?
Yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Mr. Westfall? Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. McMullen?
Yes. Thank you. So moving along in our agenda, we have no informal concept reviews and old business.
Mr. Miller, can you give an update on Wawa?
Yes, so the last meeting, we had some lengthy and I think substantive discussions relative to the Wawa convenience store that is under construction at the corner of Old Colerain and New Colerain, US 27. And so at that time, the zoning commission had presented a motion to request some interpretation by our law director and what items that had previously been approved by the zoning commission relative to a preliminary development plan and or a final development plan. And if the project was in compliance, if the zoning commission needed to request amendments to that, to either of those approvals. And so in our last discussion with the law director, he had not finished his review. So regretfully, that is not available to the zoning commission tonight. The plan is for the law director to meet with the board of trustees, since he is contracted to serve them first, and as a document that he is going to prepare for them under attorney-client privilege. They will then discuss with him what would then be released and as unprivileged information. My expectation is that it would certainly fall within the spirit of transparency. I know that we have subsequently held I think a very substantive meeting with Wawa representatives and engineers, and with a number of residents. I want to say it was 8 or 9 who live on Rayanne. Some actually showed up tonight, and I did inform them at the beginning, prior to the meeting, that regretfully we didn't have anything for them, so they felt like they didn't need to stay around. But they were able to discuss the concerns that they had relative to the project and how it was impacting their residents, as well they were able to make some recommendations to the Wawa reps and what they felt like could remedy their problems. Lots of notes taken. Then they actually went from the meeting to the site. And the residents met with Wawa. They walked the property, were able to point out a number of things. So the Wawa has made some changes. They have made, their civil engineer is currently finishing those revisions to their drawings, and they have provided a summary of the changes that they're making, that it will be distributed to the residents this week. And then Wawa has offered again another on-site meeting to discuss those changes and recommendations. And so we feel like they have been very open to their concerns, and they've acknowledged some problems. There were some grading issues and some swales that weren't quite cut properly, and they're working through all of that. They're going through some landscaping changes and adding a number of trees. So I do think that they plan to address most all of the recommendations. Some are not, I think, eligible for them to change. The request to Hamilton County Soil and Water to put more water on somebody's property, that seems unreasonable. So that's probably not going to happen, but it was a request that was made. But I feel like there has been a very good dialogue between the two parties, and so we do anticipate something soon. It is expected that the Board of Trustees at their September 23rd meeting will set a public hearing for any changes that Wawa wants to make at the October 14th Board of Trustees meeting for changes to their final development plan. That is what is anticipated. So October 14th, FDP. Based on what discussions we've had, the changes that they're making do not appear to be striking any of the criteria that says if you are making any of these changes, you need an FDP, major modification. But it also allows for the zoning administrator to declare this is significant enough that it should be approved by the Board of Trustees. So based on the zoning resolution language, we feel like that is the route that they're taking.
Any questions for Mr. Miller? Thank you. All right, any new business?
None.
And I know we have an administration.
Yes.
Okay. Go right ahead, please.
Okay, so this is for alternative financial services. So this is a request for a motion to initiate a text amendment to section 3.4.4, alternative financial service. Under section 6.4.2 of the zoning resolution, you may initiate a text amendment by motion. The Planning and Zoning Department recommends initiating a text amendment to this section to amend a township-wide cap on alternative financial service business in order to align with community needs while preserving protections against over-concentration of these services. Based on current population levels, the Colerain Township already exceeds the existing cap. Therefore, the proposed amendment is not anticipated to result in additional alternative financial service locations at this time. On August 26, 2025, the Colerain Township Board of Trustees passed a motion to initiate a text amendment regarding alternative financial services. The purpose of this text amendment is to refine the section by lowering the population threshold from 1 per 10,000 inhabitants to 1 per 9,000 inhabitants. This adjustment preserves the township's ability to regulate the number and distribution of such uses while modestly increasing flexibility to accommodate the current levels, will support a balanced commercial environment and ensure consistency with our regulatory framework. Staff recommends that the Board of Trustees initiates a text amendment to section 3.4.4. And the reason for this is the Board of Trustees, they already initiated one, but they did it by motion and not resolution. So just to make sure everything's buttoned up, we're asking the zoning commission to also initiate it by motion. Ms. McMullen.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll make a motion for the initiation of a text amendment to section 3.4.4, alternate financial service, to revise the township-wide cap from 1 use per 1,000 inhabitants to 9,000, to 1 per 9,000 inhabitants. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Klein? Did I say 1,000 instead of 10?
Could you read it again?
No.
We
What if I
can
say please?
make a friendly
To
amendment to
1 per 9,000 inhabitants. So from 10,000 to 1 per 9,000 inhabitants. As written by the staff recommendation. That's okay. And we had a second. So can we have a roll call, please?
Did you have a question?
What, could you define, by example, alternative financial service?
Pawn shops.
Is that like the check cashing?
The trustees wish to amend it, so.
Okay. Okay. So do you need a second? I'm a little,
We
A
had,
second.
yeah, we have a second, so we just need a roll.
Mr. Bachman,
yes.
Mr. Hauser,
Yes.
Mr. Westfall,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. McMullen.
Yes. Thank you. Any announcements?
I have none.
Just so next month we'll come back with another presentation, just like we went through exercises
Yep.
5 times tonight.
Yep, exactly.
Only 5? It felt like
There
more.
were 6 with animal. We won't throw 6 at you ever again.
I will not be at our next meeting, so
Okay.
the 21st, I will be out of town.
You hear that?
Mr. Wonder, will you be there?
You get to. Okay, we will.
All right. So thank you to my fellow commissioners, staff, and everyone who was present tonight. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.